Prince George for awards. Like the little nigga standing at the bus stop, scared cause he fears that he's near to a gun flop. Headphones in his head, disappears from this world for your peers in the realm of the hip hop. Just watch how we turn his whole life around. When everybody tried to tell him he was hellbound, but he smiles now, knowing he's the reason for the powwow. Bow down to the brother on the cloud. Okay, that's what they say when they see me on the stage. Hitting on the piece, take a rave in the race. So I'm living here right now, like it's my last day. Hey, mind open, eyes closed, my journey, my road, my drive, my goal. I think they ready for me. I think they calling for me. I think they waiting for me. I hear them calling. I hear them calling for me. Break down, down, down. Oh no, oh no. Break down, down, down. Oh no, oh no. Mind open, eyes closed, my journey, my road, my drive, my goal. I think they ready for me. I think they calling for me. I think they waiting for me. I hear them calling. I hear them calling for me. Mind open, eyes closed, my journey, my road, my drive, my goal. I hear they calling. Mind open, eyes closed, my journey, my road, my drive, my goal. I think they waiting for me. I think they calling for me. I hear them calling for me. I hear them calling. I hear them calling.
And we are live. We are here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Higgins Fitness and More Show. Excuse me, guys. I have something on my lens and it's killing me. I'm so just, all over the place. Anyway, how are you guys? I hope everyone is well and doing great and all that stuff. Enjoying this wonderful, awesome day outside. It's so awesome. I had a jacket, just a light jacket, and I'm just walking around outside. It's a great day here in the city. So listen, today we are talking about the food pyramid, and from back when it started to today, how it's changed. And when I'm always it's not our fault. It's just how we were trained and what we were taught was good. And that's how we are all obese and have high blood pressure and diabetes and all that jazz. It really isn't our fault. This is really what they told us. And we're going to get into some of that today. But before we get started, let's see here. What do we have to update you guys on the hashtag campaign? So I liked some of the hashtags that I received, but I think the best one was the one that was delivered at home, and that was hashtag What's Your Fit Story. So that is was what we're going to go with, what we're going to kick out. And so the idea behind it, again, is to encourage each other, inspire each other, but also to hear the journeys, the stories, and how we got to these places. And I mean, not just how we got to being unhealthy. Kind of all know that, but the struggles with making the lifestyle change and turning everything over to that type of a new lifestyle that is healthier for you, right? So, I share my story all the time. Some of you know, some of you don't know, but yeah. So my highest weight was 350 pounds. I got there by just not being knowledgeable. And I had, I made decent money and we were eating out and it was just whatever. So, but, you don't just get to 350. It's over time. It's, childhood, things of that nature. I've always carried extra weight. But because I was taught that certain food items were okay. And even, we even go through the thing of rewarding good behavior with foods that we don't really need to be eating. But, it's become a comfort thing. It's a whole mess of a 9 yards. But we are here to also correct that. See how we got there so that we can change the mind. Because if we don't change it in our minds, then we just, we will eventually repeat that behavior. And that's not what we want to do. So we got to, remain focused and actually be willing to learn new things and new behaviors, right? So that being said, with the story or with the hashtag campaign, that is officially launched. Actually, it'll be officially launched Monday, but that I just let you know what the hashtag was, right? So, so you got that story. All right. So we want to know what's your story. Now, and we'll talk about more each episode. I will share a little bit more about the journey, taking from the time of realizing that highest number of 350, right? So I'll take it from that story and move forward to what I did, the journey, every step of the way, because it was so much. It wasn't like, okay, you're 350, now go work out and lose this weight, because it just doesn't happen that way. We know that. We got to get motivated. We have to want it bad enough. We have to understand that whatever behavior got us there is not the behavior that we need to continue, because it will only keep us there. And that'll get us all real stuck, right? So we don't want to do all that, okay? We want forward. We want to move forward. We want progression. We want the process. You can't get through the process if you don't progress, right? So I don't want to seem like I'm rambling, but that's all a part of the story. But those are the things that we'll be sharing to help keep focus and to keep in line what we need to do, and to understand that it's everybody's struggle. Everyone has some kind of fit story. I don't care if it's weight loss, if it's someone trying to compete for something in sports, and that sport can be anything, you know? It can be, I'll even consider cheerleading a sport. No, actually it is, because y'all tumbling and jumping, y'all do that thing. Y'all, all y'all. So, but every sport there is there's any level of competition that requires you to physically train for, you have a story. If you have a weight loss story, you've battled disease, you've overcome illnesses, changed your lifestyle, you have a fit story. All right, so that's the idea behind it. That's what we're going with, and we'll start bringing them in. We'll watch the hashtags, and we'll see what's going on, see what you guys are doing, and see exactly how you're either struggling or progressing through your process. All right, so that's what all that's about. All right, so the microgreens, they are growing in the house, and they are just like, it's awesome, because the cool thing about growing herbs and stuff like that and greens in your home, they also kind of double as like a plant. You know what I mean? Like, you can water it, sit it in the corner, and it's like decoration too. So it's really awesome. I'm really enjoying this process and learning these new techniques. So we'll have some show some videos next week of actual eating. Then we'll have some for dinner over the weekend. We also have what else we got going on this week? We got so we'll have a vegan. We'll show you guys some vegan breakfasts this week too. So we have some guests that come into the house that are not vegan, so they are going to have to endure the vegan lifestyle for the weekend while there. So we'll see some of their reactions and see how they progress through that experience for them too. Because I have some people that love meat or animal product, I'll say, okay, that love animal product and have like just can't wait to show them something different. Because one of my homegirls is like, her thing is like, is the food going to taste good? Like, it's all about the taste for her. Like, she don't care what it is as long as it tastes good. So we're going to get her reaction and see how that goes, right? Again, we're all about trying new things, opening your mind, and helping people explore something new and different, okay? So we'll have some updates on that next show as well, and the official first video for the hashtag, What's Your Fit Journey? We'll have that all next week. All right, so we're about to get into the food pyramid. I think we have one more update real quick. Let's see. Clients are doing well, all that good stuff. Yeah, like I said, I haven't cooked in forever, so we'll do that this week and show you some of those updates and that experience. But, other than that, I am pretty much ready to get into this food pyramid and exactly how we got to where we are, okay? So you guys check out the video. Actually, we're going to go to the video first. I want you to enjoy that, pick up some information, and we're going to talk about it as soon as we get back.
In 1988, Oprah pulled out a red wagon full of greasy animal fat to show her audience how much weight she had lost. It was pretty gross, but it became her highest-rated episode ever. Back then, fat was the enemy. It was increasingly being seen as the root cause behind America's steady rise in obesity and diabetes. So when the food pyramid came out in 1992, it was intended to help Americans fight back by officially recommending a low-fat diet for better health. But decades later, the fallout from the food pyramid may have accidentally made our diets less healthy, and quite possibly made the obesity and diabetes problem even worse. This is the story of how we got the food pyramid so wrong. To address America's mounting obesity, diabetes, and heart disease problems in the 80s, policymakers looked to what had worked before on a different public health menace: smoking. Back in 1964, the Surgeon General's office published a landmark report that established a link between smoking and cancer. In the following years, rates of smoking fell dramatically, and tobacco-related cancers started declining. It was a watershed moment in public health, and the report was widely credited with helping to save millions of lives. So to try and recreate some of that success, in 1988, the Surgeon General's office published a 700-page report to help fix our diet. The Surgeon General boasted that the depth of the science was even more impressive than the legendary smoking study. It was the first time officials identified the reduction of fat as the #1 dietary priority. And when the USDA food pyramid came out 4 years later, it reflected that. Fat was crammed into the tippy top, along with a warning to only use it sparingly. Whereas a host of carbohydrate-rich foods occupied the pyramid's wide bottom layer. The message it sent was simple and clear: carbohydrates good, fat bad. The food pyramid spread far and wide. It was in schools, on posters, in our homes, and on our minds. It was the most widely adopted guideline for healthy eating in the history of the United States. Over a decade after it came onto the scene, a Gallup survey found that 82% of Americans believed the pyramid was the basis of a sensible, healthful eating plan. But despite the pyramid's notoriety and years of educating the public about nutrition, Americans didn't seem to be getting any healthier. Obesity and diabetes were continuing to climb. So what was going on? Well, first of all, it turns out that the food pyramid's use fat sparingly caution was an oversimplification from the start. Research today makes a pretty strong case that not all fats are created equal, and some fats are actually good. In fact, too little good fat could actually be leading to heart disease and obesity, the very problems the food pyramid had been developed to prevent. And the problems with oversimplification didn't end there. The wide bottom of the pyramid gave many the impression that eating a diet with lots of carbs was good, without distinguishing between complex carbs found in whole grains and oats, and simple carbs found in things like white bread and baked goods, which your body quickly turns into waist-expanding sugar. The pyramid's authors actually knew this at the time, but they thought keeping their guidelines simple was important, so they left that part out. And the decision proved to be a fateful one. The pyramid's low-fat, high-carb recipe would end up contributing to a low-fat diet craze that was about to sweep the nation. Sensing the growing anti-fat sentiment in the 80s and 90s, the food industry responded by developing thousands of reduced-fat products: yogurt, chips, meats, cheeses, and cookies. By 2005, low-fat and fat-free products were a $35 billion market, the largest segment of the diet food industry. But there was a catch. When food manufacturers took out the fat, they had to replace it with something that still made it taste good, which almost always meant adding extra sugar and carbohydrates. Compared to the late 70s, today we eat around 60 more pounds of grains and 30 more pounds of sweeteners every year. At the same time, we're eating up to 400 more calories per day. In recent years, there are signs that perspectives are changing. In 2015, the official dietary guidelines eliminated its limits on cholesterol, and the American Heart Association has gradually revised its guidelines and moved away from its strict guidance to lower fat intake. The bottom line is that nutrition is complex, and despite collective efforts of some of the planet's best minds, the science of nutrition is still young and evolving. The number of annual studies on obesity and diabetes alone has risen from about 1,000 in 1960 to 44,000 in 2013. It's likely that more than 1 million articles have been published on dieting over the last 50 years. Given all the complexity, perhaps the food pyramid's greatest mistake was in its inception, because an oversimplified, one-size-fits-all recommendation is a pretty surefire recipe for getting things wrong. Subscribe to our show page and be the first to see new episodes.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't, oh well. I mean, I don't know what to tell you if you didn't enjoy that. But listen, right? So I thought it was crazy because this is essentially, they literally taught us to be sick. And, sometimes we're like, what are we doing? So if you can, pull up the first food pyramid, the first one, right? So they were telling us to eat 6 to 11 servings of bread, cereal, rice, pasta, right? So let's say, right, so 6 to 11 servings. How many bowls? That's like 2 bowls of Captain Crunch, right, for breakfast. That's a sandwich. That's a sandwich at lunch. That's 4, right? So then you have at least 5 more that 6 more that you can do. That's enough right there. You have pasta for dinner. You know what I mean? Like, if you just ate like that alone throughout the day, first of all, most of that down there on that first level, most of what's in the stores, in the grocery stores today, most of the pasta, most of the breads, most of the rice and cereals are all chemicals. And we've talked about that. My phone is seriously ringing in the middle of the show. How about that? But anyway, those are the things that we said. Remember, we talked about the toxic cereals and how that was nothing but chemicals. And those things were pumping in, so much crap into our bodies. So they want us to have a whole lot of crap first. Like, if you eat anything first, you got to get the crap in. Because that's what's at the stores. The breads, the cheap breads, the cereals, and all of that. The rice and pastas. The things that, and remember too, when we talked about carbs, right? So when we first define carbs, what they tell us, and I read that out of the book that I was actually trained to be a personal trainer with, right? In that book, it said the carbohydrates were also by far, per unit of calorie, the cheapest of the macronutrients, right? So, I mean, you can go to any dollar store, any convenience store. If they sell food, they sell some of this, right? You go to any corner store, you can go anywhere, you're going to get these things down here in this cereal with this rice and this bread and this pasta and all of that. Your honey buns and all your sweets and all your cakes and all that. And remember, all of that stuff down there has shelf life, right? So that means they also have a lot of preservatives added to them as well, right? So that's what we have been taught to have as our base for our nutrition. And remember, in the video, it said 82% of Americans felt that this version of the food pyramid was a great and healthy guideline to nutrition. 82% of people felt this way. So then, okay, so let's move up here a little bit. They have 2 to 4 servings of fruit, 3 to 5 servings of vegetables. So remember, we talked about, here's the thing with this. Fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates. And they also hold all 3. Not only do they hold all 3 of the macronutrients, they're filled with all of the micronutrients as well. Remember, we talked about a little bit last episode about the micronutrients being the vitamins, the minerals, the things of that nature, the good stuff. That many of these carbohydrates or artificial carbohydrates, man-made carbohydrates, don't possess at all. But as you see here, this is where they want us to start. Now, it's not like we're in France somewhere and we got fresh bread here and you know what I'm saying, all the pasta just made from quinoa and stuff like that. No, this is where they want us to start, with the cheapest crap. They've even said it. You've heard me read it verbatim. This is the cheapest. So, but then, yeah, get a little bit of fruit and vegetables. Get like 2 to 3, 3 to 5. That's fine. Get a little bit of that in. But then let's go back into the animal fat or the animal product. They want us to eat 2 to 3 servings of meat and poultry, fish, okay, eggs. So they want us to then again eat all of the products that they slaughter, that human right or animal right issues are all over, right? These industries that we know hypertension, obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes are all linked to eating these things, the milk, the yogurt, the cheese, all that as well. And we've talked about that on the show, where we have the milk that has the cow pus, right? and the cows that are in these unsafe environments, and how the whole cow process is just ridiculous for the cows themselves, and the emotional abuse that they go through to be able to produce the milk at the rate that they have to meet the supply that the United States have set, or the demand that the United States have set by telling us we need this. Remember, like back in the day, all the milk does your body good commercials and all that stuff. Milk make you strong. Let me tell you something. If I go on a powerlifting or something and I forever like make it and they want some endorsements, let me tell you something. That milk thing, that cow pus, I will not do. I won't sell my soul to the cows for that. Okay? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not. So, but anyway, these are the things that are also linked to other cancers, and like in the video set, these things are now linked to the cancers. In the video we talked about the cigarette smoking. At one point, you had doctors that would go into the hospital. They be treating patients and smoke cigarettes back in the day before they said, oh, it's unhealthy and it's unsanitary. You be smoking and then taking out my stitches. Like, come on, But this is what we did. So now, the good thing is that we're waking up. And we can see the difference. We're starting to see the difference. We just got a lot more that need to come over to the other side. But that's why I'm here. It's okay. That's why I'm here. So, but to come over to the other side and understand that this is what they taught us. This is why this is what helped us to get to this point. Obesity and then so like, okay, I'm skipping around here, but because this is crazy to me, right? So obesity has then now become this like billion-dollar, like multi-billion-dollar industry for people, for doctors, for pharmaceutical companies, for this whole, like they said, how about low-fat and fat-free products is a $35 billion industry. Like, are you freaking kidding me? And then but in order to do that, like, I want y'all to see understand the mindset and understand how we got here. So they said, okay, we're going to make these foods and we're going to add some chemicals to it. We're going to genetically modify the corn and make high fructose corn syrup and all these things. We're going to find other chemicals to come in and add and preserve these false foods and modifications that we've done, right? So then they said, okay, well, all that's making you fat. So now, all right, we got to take the fat out. So how do we do that? Add more chemicals. So then you add more chemicals, you take the fat out, but now you take the taste out, right? Okay, so then what we got to do? Add more chemicals. Then you make it, add sugar, carbs, add more to it. So then there you go. You have now, then you go and eat this fat-free item that still tastes good, but it's just a bunch of chemicals. So really, you're just eating a bunch of chemicals. I mean, literally, all of that. Like, so the breads, I'm talking about, okay, so you go get pancakes, same thing. Just chemicals, literally a box of chemicals. You take a simple breakfast. You have, what we're taught is breakfast in America. It's a good breakfast at that, like eggs, you got pancakes, somebody wants some bacon, you might got some hash browns or some kind of potato substance, right? Or potato variation, right? That's a simple breakfast. So you got the pig, you eating your pigs. I'm going to just say, you probably have a glass of milk. The eggs probably got milk in them or something. You got the pig, You got the cow, right? You got the animal, the cow pus. You got the pig's ass. You got the chicken babies. You know what I'm saying? And all of this is breakfast. And that's just breakfast. And all of that came from like filth and dirt and like more chemicals pumped into them and diseases, you know, and dead animals on top of them. Like, and then we eat this, you know, they pump the chemicals, clean it up, then we eat it, and then we get sick. But we can't understand why we keep gaining weight. We can't understand why we on these medications. We can't understand why we can't move around the way we do. We can't understand why we thinking different. We can't understand why we can't focus and concentrate and why stuff is making us act the way it is. It's all comes down to what we eat, how we eat, what we put in our system, okay? Like, it is that simple. And then what we do with our bodies. We're not meant to be sitting down all day, you know, but life and luxury has given us just that. Someone told us the American way, you get you a good job, sit behind a desk, collect a good check, eat, drink what you want when you want, and you're living a good life. And that's exactly what happens. You get in those positions and, you know, money becomes okay, you know, it follows. Whether that's your situation or you just don't know any better and you're living off of the corner stores, you know, and the quick fixes and whatever works quick for you. So either way, it's an issue. Either way, it's a problem. Either way, it is what America is suffering from, right? So they've made all this money off of adding chemicals, right? And then they're going to prescribe. We're not finished here. So there's a chemical train. Did y'all see that? Right? So you took some food, you genetically modified it, it made people sick or fat is sick, and then now they're sick. So you add more chemicals and take out the fat, or you genetically modify the food even more, right? And then that doesn't taste good anymore. So then you add chemicals to make it taste better, and then you feed it to the people. And then even that's still making them sick as well. So then you give them a chemical to take to fix all the problems that the chemicals you're eating has caused. So that's a chemical train. I hope I didn't lose some of y'all with that. But that's basically what's happening, right? So let's imagine, if you will, that we cut out all these chemicals. We cut these chemicals out and we actually eat food that provide the micronutrients and the macronutrients from its original source. And then everything works properly. We don't need to take more chemicals to help our body feel better or to move or to think in a productive way and be a productive member of society, or be a healthy member of society in order to be productive, right? Because that hurts. You being unhealthy counteracts whatever circle that you're in. It counteracts. If you're unhealthy, someone else in there is unhealthy as well, and I can guarantee you that. It's not just you. But like I said, it's this way of thinking. And it's not like, you know how bad, I hate to hear, high blood pressure, diabetes run in my family. I'm sorry. It doesn't run in your family. The way you've become accustomed to eating runs in your family because it was taught in your family, okay? That's where it came from. It came from somewhere. You had to be taught it, to be it, to do it. Okay, and to think that it's okay. All right, so we want to get out of that mindset, guys. We gotta start opening up our minds even more. I mean, 82% of Americans thought that was okay. You know, and nowhere in there too, like at the top, it said, that was a crazy thing to me. At the top of that pyramid, it had fats, and then it said, use sparingly. Right? And then in the video, it talks about is bad fat versus good fat, right? So, like I said, so the fat at the top, and the crazy part is, like, if you follow the pyramid over the years, that top part is then they add sodas and beverages as the not that one. Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah, still. So the fats come from your sweets, like your candies and your cookies and stuff like that. And even have a yogurt on there or something. Like, that's where your fats come from? No. Like, so that's saying that it's okay to then have a little bit of it, right? Because but wait, if we have a little bit of it, we're eating that chemical, we're putting it in our body, and we are making that chemical last and live in our body, right? So then what are we doing? We're saying the body's in like, oh, I need more. So, because you're not going to have one soda one day and not think of it, not have another one for a month or two. You're just not going to do it. Or you may not want another soda, but somewhere you're going to want something sweet that you wouldn't have wanted if you didn't have that soda. Because drugs have to be fed. Chemicals have to be fed to live and survive in your body. Okay? Hence, flush it out. Water, drink it out. No, anyway. But this is what happens, right? So on this one, this food pyramid here that we have up is from 2000. This is a recent one, 2018. So they have now kind of switched things around a little bit. They put fruits and vegetables at the bottom, all right? And they have increased that to 5 to 7 fruits and vegetables a day. They have grains in the middle there, and they tried to make them all like brown so they didn't look so like white and fake, right? I'm talking about bread, not nothing else, y'all. And then they had the but then it goes into the animal fat or the animal products. They did lessen it, I will say that, but you know, it's still, so it's like they're getting the idea. And the other one, they have at the top with the fats and the spreads of oils, right? So like I said, you know, you guys, the oils aren't the bad thing, but it depends on what kind of oil. Like, you know, we go for grapeseed oil. We go for coconut oil to be used in certain ways. We go for olive oil, but not to cook with. Avocado oil, sesame oil. Those are the good ones. Those are the ones that are awesome for your system. They are original. They haven't been modified, okay? The canola oil, vegetable oil. Let me tell you, there's very little to no vegetable in vegetable oil, so don't get it twisted, okay? Those are the oils that we don't want. The spreads, the fake margarines and stuff like that. It's not what we want. We want healthy fats from nuts and seeds and things of that nature, from avocados, from nut butters and stuff like that. That's where we want the healthy fats. From certain fish is okay too, but in moderation. We don't need the animal. The animal fat is, the worst part about it is just such a byproduct. It's like, you know, excuse me, you know, it's like you're eating, I'm trying to put it in the way that you meat eaters will understand. I guess it's like the difference between eating a filet mignon versus eating a steakum. You get what I mean? Like, for you meat eaters, that's what, yeah. I got several nods, you know, about that. But that, so in a sense, that's how this whole thing looks, okay? So fruits and vegetables in its purest form, that's the filet, right? The healthy fats in its natural form, that's the filet. Those margarines, those high fructose corn syrups, those sugars, those fake sugars, all of that, those are the steakum, okay? That's simple. That's how it is. So, you want that good gas. You want that good protein. You want that original source. You don't want the hand-me-downs of anything else. You know, if you had the option, you pick your own pair of shoes, brand new shoes versus somebody else's brand new shoes, right? That's been worn. You know, you want your own. You want the clean, the fresh. So that's how we got to get it. Same mentality, same thing for that. All right, so we talked about this. And now I know you guys think that, like, I'm crazy or something, or like I done found something, I just want to tell everybody what I found. No, it's not quite. Well, it's kind of like that, but not like that. Only because I care, and only because I know this way of life helps. Not only does it help, but it improves your quality of life. Okay, you're a healthier person. Your outlook on life is different. All right. So, and like I said, it's not just me. So I do have another video for you guys to see again that it's not just me. Hear this lady's story, and we're going to talk about it before we wrap up here. Okay. Y'all check it out.
When it comes to solving health problems like clogged arteries, many believe surgery may be the only option.
But we have a story this evening about the body's ability to heal itself if it's given food and nutrition it needs to do the job. Health Check reporter Christy Myers has one woman's remarkable story.
Dinner time for Sheila Lewis these days has a green theme. This Houston mother of 3 eats healthy for a reason. 9 months ago, she was a very sick woman.
At night when I was sleeping, I would be awakened by something abnormal going on in my, with my chest. And I just say, something is not right.
Something was wrong. She was suffering from congestive heart failure and had blockages, one of up to 85% in her arteries.
I was really devastated. And it was kind of scary because I lost my mom. She was 59 when she passed, and she had congestive heart failure.
And you can see right here, there's a very critical narrowing.
Cardiologist Dr. Baxter Montgomery gave her several options, including bypass surgery or a defibrillator. But he had another idea, too.
But I also talked about changing a diet, and I talked about the power of nutrition.
He told her to eat lots of fruit and vegetables, cut out all the foods that she's enjoyed in her life. No more meat, chicken, dairy, sugar, or bread.
You're going to do it and live, or don't do it and suffer the consequence.
After 5 months, the blockages in her heart were gone. These are the before and after pictures.
Because it was just so amazing. It was unbelievable.
To be honest, we see similar results routinely.
It's why Dr. Montgomery has created a new concept in healthcare that combines traditional medical treatments with nutritional intervention. Sheila makes her own meals and has asked her family to cook and eat healthier too.
I'm living witness that our bodies will heal itself, and I'm just still blown away.
Christy Myers, 13, Health Check.
In addition to clearing the arteries in her heart, Sheila also lost weight, about 30 pounds in 5 months. She says she feels like she's been given her life back.
Awesome. Yes. So you guys heard it straight from her Facebook land. I posted the video earlier, either today or the other day, something like that. Check it out from earlier this week. And like I said, one of the things I liked about this story, or that stuck out to me, was that at 59, her mom passed and had the same thing, the clogged arteries, right? So this is not where I said that it's so much hereditary, but more so how we've been taught. This is how she was taught to eat. Once she changed her way of eating, unfortunately she was, scared, had to be scared out of it. And most of us do have to be scared out of something, but after she was scared out of it, she really just like, okay, I got to do something. So something made her, and that was her moment, and changed her life around. So she tried something different. So, yeah, she's like, no, I'm not doing this whole defibrillator thing. I'm just going straight up into changing my lifestyle. So she did that. She cut out, she said it in the video, if you guys didn't hear it, she cut out for 5 months, right? 5 months. She cut out meat, chicken, dairies, bread, and something else. But yeah, all the main things, right? She cut all of those things out, the things that she's been accustomed to eating all of her life. And in 5 months, her arteries were clear. Like, just that simple. Just like that. So she no longer has to worry about that. But not only did her arteries go from 85% clogged, to no clogged arteries in 5 months, though, she's also lost 30 pounds. So like I said, it's hand in hand. Her body was able to work more efficiently. Her body was able to drop the weight because it wasn't eating the chemicals. And, when we eat those chemicals, our body holds it because it doesn't know what to do. So she changed all that. Saved her life. Now she's talking to her family, trying to get them on the same path, right? That is awesome. That's what we're all about. So kudos to her and all that good stuff. But like I said, it's not hereditary. Not in the body, in the mind. You change the mind, you can change the path, right? If she didn't change her mind, her kids are then subjected to it. Her family, the rest of her family is subjected to it as well. By her being able to change it and live the new life with the fruits and vegetables, it was that simple. It changed. Her whole life changed. She didn't have to worry about that anymore. She was at ease and living a different lifestyle. So like I said, it's not just me. It's people out there, all right? So that's her fish story, right? You guys know mine. And I'm keeping on, so I'm still going, all right? So like I said, we got to keep this whole thing rolling, all right? We will be back. We'll be back next week with some new stuff. But yeah, anyway, before next week's real cool show. But I wanted you guys to get that and to understand. We're gonna start going into more of the 5 components of fitness, showing you guys, kind of tying everything together with the components of fitness, but also what that looks like in as far as a workout plan or training for that specific one. Okay, because with all of this is more of the health, the inside parts, and we want to get that going and understand. This one, and as far as the 5 components of health, this one kind of affects the body composition, right? That's the body, the amount of body fat to lean mass that your body holds. So this is where all this comes from. If we're eating these things, like I said, she has clogged arteries. You see the relationship? She had clogged arteries and she was overweight. So there's a relationship there. Right? And so body composition is something that this affects as far as how it looks. Right? So most training or weight loss programs are geared around or have some form of body fat percentage wanting to be dropped. Okay? So we'll talk more about that next week as we get into that portion of the health. But I want you guys to understand these fruits and vegetables. That's where it's at. It'll change your life. Like, I'm serious. And so, actually, I'm on my way now to, I don't think I'm supposed to say yet. Okay, yeah, anyway. We'll have footage of where I'm about to go. I'm going to check out another vegan restaurant this evening. And, I just want to say, it feels good when when you know what you're eating. I had a smoothie today, and it was an almond cream smoothie and so I'm weird. They have almond cream, and then they have this very berry one. And so, because I'm me, I want to mix together, right? So I had it was an almond with some berries in it. It was awesome. But, they gave it to me kind of fast today. It was a new girl behind the thing. So I was like, does this blend it all the way? But after I ate it, it's at the bottom of the cup. There's 4 chips of almond. But I'm like, at least I know it's almond. It's there. You know what I mean? How many times do you go places and you never see no almond in nothing? Really? Come on. Anyway. Know what you're eating. It's the coolest freaking thing, especially when you've seen it grown yourself. It's freaking awesome. I don't understand how people can't get on this. It's not just a way. It is life. It's not a way of life. It is life. Your bodies are electric. All right, let me stop rambling. Y'all got me rambling today. I'm out of here, all right? Y'all have a good one. I'm going to see y'all next week. Peace.